Good morning, good morning. Here we go. SPY is going crazy here in the short term. I love to see it moving up here yesterday. How did you guys like that overall move yesterday morning? It made for a fun start to the week, I'd say. Although some people probably want crazier price action, but I don't know. I thought it was all right. Let's go to the 5-minute chart of today. Looking at the close of yesterday, SPY is up a little bit, up 0.18%, starting to bounce higher here on this 5-minute chart. Yesterday was awesome. Awesome. Glad to hear that you think that. It's hard to get that volume just right sometimes. Holy volatility. A lot of volatility this morning. Tesla's pulling back hard off of 427 resistance. Big zone from yesterday. Could be a good play opportunity to the downside here. Tesla's starting to really dip. We are only in 1 minute into open, though. Microsoft, Tesla. Look at NVIDIA really falling off here at open, too. My gosh. Seeing a lot of the Mag 7 kind of go red. Apple even... It had a good open at first, but nasty red candle starting to hit. That's pretty brutal there. Them nuke stocks. That's what you're watching today, Tangy Man. I like Meta here. Meta's nice and green. Apple's starting to come back, but my gosh, I mean, some of these sell-offs are kind of nasty. Microsoft's down 1.3% again. They're kind of continuing down after those earnings last week. They're making new recent lows. Yeah, under the low following earnings there. 420. That's Tangy Man's favorite number, guys. But yeah, if you're just now joining up today, destroy that like button. Let's go. AMD is going to report earnings tonight. Let's do a poll. All right, let's get those votes going. Just threw the poll out there. Will AMD have a positive or negative reaction to earnings tonight? You vote positive, negative, or flat? Good morning, Japapa. The good guy says PayPal's down. PYPL is down. Oh, on earnings. I didn't even realize that they reported. I guess it got overshadowed by the others for me. Walmart continues to soar, though. I like that. There we go. Wally World. Man, that stock has been awesome lately. It's crazy how much Walmart has been soaring. Target's soaring too, though. And Target is pretty fun. Look at how low Target is. Do you guys know why Target's going to go up? Because I moved closer to a Target than a Walmart now. To go to Walmart, for me, it's like an extra 10-minute drive now over Target. So, I've been going to Target more, although I don't really want to. LUV cracked 50. Like it. Southwest Airlines. What's up, Rick? Good morning. Southwest cracked 50 and is consolidating, actually trying to bounce off of 50 now. Might use it as support. That would be perfect. Let me turn up the background music just a little bit. It seems a little bit light today. I don't know if you guys are getting that either. The groceries are overpriced. I know they really are. That's why I don't like it. It's like when Tom stopped drinking Monsters and then their stock tanked. Yep, that was me. Right here is where I did it, Rick. That's funny. Yeah, I used to drink those energy drinks like every morning during the stream, but I don't do it anymore. TSLA holding around 417. Love that daily support range on Tesla. It's perfect range, but We've been rejecting off resistance so far today. Trying to mount a bit of a comeback, though. That was a nasty drop-off at open. Same for NVIDIA. NVIDIA might try to pop back a bit here as well, but watch for 185. That's a big resistance. Google's continuing down. Made a new low of the day just now. SPY is actually about to go red on the day. It's like right at break even. Keep in mind that's from yesterday's close. How's that poll looking though on AMD? Advanced Money Destroyer. No, we'll call it Advanced Money Dispenser, I guess. 22 votes, positive reaction so far, nice. Palantir drop off, uh-oh. Not following their earnings. Yep, down 6.6%, or sorry, up 6.6%. But my gosh, it does seem like they're pulling back very hard. They filled the gap and then some at this point. From their peak, they essentially fell over 5%. It's a pretty good move though by Palantir on their earnings, but they'll probably hold this range here. I think it would actually be a really cool dip buy for a possible retest of 160 at some point today. KO's ripping, J-Duck says. Really going, yeah. KO, Pepsi. I've been actually eyeing up these drink stocks along with like Walmart and Target and Costco. You're right though, Pepsi. Again. Coca-Cola, again, too. Coca-Cola. This is because Trump loves Coke. It is Coke that he likes, right? Remember how he had that weird button on his desk and he'd press it and then he'd bring him a Coke? I think it was Coke. Diet Coke. Oh. Ugh. Tom, how do you see Netflix to the downside towards 70 like I do? Let's see. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely eyeing up more of that range personally. 70 is a really good support here. That would be pretty nice. Yeah, I'm ultimately looking for that. I'm wondering, though, if we do start to see, like, a bit of a bounce back, but it seems like in the short term, it's really having trouble holding up here. Note how we had a lot of reaction over here. And a lot of times, whenever we had those reactions, you know, it created, like, this weird pattern like that. You know, we could see, like, a bit more chop before the overall fall down here as well. But it's weird how today it kind of gapped down under that recent support, but it's holding that low of earnings, I guess. That has to be larger area there at 80. I lean down overall like you do. It's just, you know, there can be some chop mixed in. 427 on Tesla, still holding up. Tesla rejecting down pretty hard from those pre-market highs. We can see that was a pretty decent range with Tesla the past few trading days. Past couple weeks, actually. Tesla's had a lot of reaction around this range. Soft drinks give you that dad gut. Oh no. Luckily, I'm not quite there yet, but I mostly drink Gatorade and water. I've heard that Gatorade's pretty bad for you if you drink a lot of it, but I don't know how true that is or not. What do you guys think? Gatorade, good or bad? You know who makes Gatorade though? Is Pepsi. Still ripping up above 160 here. 3.2%. What a move by Pepsi. Like, what are these moves lately? These soft drink companies are starting to actually have like great movement. And like for a stock like Pepsi, whenever it starts to move like this, it does pretty good. See these options that expire this week, for example, up like, 70, 80. I mean 50% plus, 50 to 80%, we'll say. Not bad. I thought maybe it'd be a bit more, but hell, the 20th of February's are moving almost the same. Again, these are not the most voluminous options ever, but big bid and ask gaps as well. That's kind of what sucks sometimes about those slower moving companies like that, but back to the S&P 500, or the SPY. Nasty 1 minute candle, new low of the day, 695 coming up. Wow, guys, that is a pretty big pullback there. We've been chopping lower every time we've gotten a big move down. Today we've immediately chopped back up. Looks like that might be the case again here with this wick that formed going down to 695 or so. We'll see. That was nasty though. Now if that wick breaks here, I think we're going to be looking at some pretty good momentum. Go to the Mag 7 here. How is good old... Oh, this isn't the Mag 7, sorry. That was the wrong chart. Oops. There we go. That's funny. Yeah, SPY starting to weaken a bit. I want to see how good old UPS is looking today again. Woo! UPS. There we go. Love the old UPS lately. Beautiful PA to the upside. Tansy Man's back on track for 100 a day realized gains in your ITA goal or IRA goal. Almighty J says nasty candles everywhere. Everywhere besides UPS. Nvidia was one of the rougher moves today. It did get down to 183 and bounce off support, though. This is a support that I've had marked on the chart. I could see it actually getting under here. It's a pretty big area. SPY's in the wumbo pattern here. We have the little like W kind of formation, kind of a weird type of setup for SPY in my opinion. A lot of times as SPY gets towards its recent highs and all-time highs, you know, it can have a little bit of trouble like truly pushing through. It could take a couple of days, so just don't be surprised if, you know, we do see a little bit of chop around this range. This is like a known kind of chop zone where the SPY has been a bit stuck in the past. When I say the past, I mean like 10 trading days ago. Disney named a new CEO. They did. I did not pay attention to that one. I knew that they were down though quite a bit on earnings yesterday. Yeah, 103 coming up. Daily chart looks rough again. It'd be interesting if they start to really fall back towards 80. I kind of hope that they do. How's Rigetti and some of these growth stocks faring? Not very good in the short term. I know a lot of these have been pulling back hard in the quantum sector. QUBT breaking down to levels not seen since the middle of 2025. QBTS. Same deal, kind of. Pulling back hard, though. Not quite to those lows, but... not very hot either. Tom, how do you like the strategy of buying silver miners on this dip, knowing the likely tailwinds for domestic silver? Man, silver miners. I've looked into gold miners a lot more in the past. Silver miners, I haven't really truly like dove into those companies at all, Tangy Man. I will say this though. I have some friends that work in the gold and silver industry, and they've pretty much stopped buying right now for silver and gold. They've pretty much halted buying right now. They're having issues with smelters and refineries actually having to halt buying as well, and there's a lot of articles like some of the biggest refineries in the US had like halted production and halted buying and payouts and stuff like that. So it's a weird environment. They said like the lending environment is constrained as well surrounding a lot of this. I don't know how much that's going to end up impacting silver miners themselves, but as long as silver stays pretty elevated, I mean, that's just a really good sign for them. You know, it doesn't even have to stay this high. Even if silver sticks around like 50 to 70 or, you know, something like in a range between there, or just somewhere around 50 even, I mean, it'd be significantly higher than what it was. I would think that they would still do just fine. I mean, that's a good question, Tangy Man. I mean, it seems like a good thing like on the macro side, for sure. It's just in the short term, if silver does have kind of like a weird implosion, I'm sure that those stocks will have a subsequent pullback as well. Thesis on silver is as strong or even stronger than uranium. I can afford to buy the dip and would delight in it. Yeah, I think as long as you have some room to average in on some of those, I think it would be ideal, of course, but yeah, I like it. Sorry, I was just looking at those candle stats there. I don't know if you guys knew that on TradingView, if you clicked and held on a candle, it pops up with the stats. Like if you're like in line with it, you click and hold. Didn't Diamond say silver would be half its price by the beginning of the year? Well, let's see, or by the middle of the year? Let's see. So half its price. I mean, are you saying like half from the top? I don't know when he said that, but hell, it already almost did half. If you think about it. Well, that's my new hobby for Q1, bargain shopping miners and smelters, I guess, if they are having issues. Yeah. Yeah, I have not looked into if those smelters trade like publicly or not, but I think metal ore, METALOR is like the biggest one in the US, Tangy. MTDR? No. Yeah, I don't think it is traded. Man, Palantir still giving back gains, it looks like. 155 breaking down as it's still running lower here, guys. What about AMD tonight? It looks like everybody's voting for positive reaction so far. Get those votes going. Destroy that like while you're at it, too. Helps us out. Last month he said half when it was close to 100. Okay. Okay, that's a lot better context. So if it gets down to like 50, which not too far. I would think that 50 is a fairly stable price for it if it could just sit there. $77 watching, 22 likes. Smash it up, Joe Papa says. Yeah, get it in. If you don't, I swear I'm going to send Greta to your house.
How dare you?
Oh, she's pissed. I can't believe we only get to play Jerome Powell's intro 2 more times, our tradition. I'm a little sad. I don't know why I thought of that, but I guess because I was playing a button or something. SNDK went red, Hustle said. SanDisk, down. Still 1.04% on the day. It was up pretty good in pre-market too, and right at open it ripped. Really ripped, but then fell off hard. Wow, that's some volatility there. It's a hard stock to trade. SNDK still falling though. That is some good momentum. If you're looking for momentum out there, it seems like there's a lot of it to the downside today. A lot of downside Momo out there. Amazon's been straight down after that chop. Wow, but in like the past 10 to 15 minutes, Amazon has been very rough here. 241. Big pullback, Amazon. Nasty drop-offs. Tesla's breaking down to new lows of the day, too. Testing 420, Elon's favorite number here. This is a big zone of support, though, for Tesla that it's been kind of bouncing off of over the past couple days and couple weeks. We can see this range here on the charts. It's liked bouncing around this 420 area, but I would not be surprised if it got towards the lower end of the range, considering the amount of sell-off that's been ensuing here so far today. DraftKings down 2.5%. Looking at the watch list here. Yeah, whoever said Fubo was taking a hit wasn't kidding. 26% with earnings today. Fat Brands is down to 16 cents. Getting crushed. It's at the top end of the watch list, though. USAR, you said, was up good, and it leads the watch list. Good guy. Up 11% today. Woof. 10.45%. Critical Metals, CRML. I think that's what it is. It's not minerals, right? Critical Metals, that's what I thought. UEC, Uranium Energy Corp. Yeah, the nuke stocks, Tangi said earlier, were doing pretty good. All of them lead the watch list, essentially. My favorite, probably UUUU, up 8%. Palantir still up over 5%. I mean, it's still around the top end of the watch list. So this is actually a big zone for Palantir coming up. It's starting to test the lows after it ripped last night. it's around 153.50 is that low. Right now it's testing like 154.50 and it's bouncing a little bit. AAL, American Airlines. Mason says, we spy. Spy's going down. Yeah, pretty nasty day today, isn't it? Of course, as it flirts with highs. PayPal down 18%. I know their earnings were awful, wasn't it? Earnings were brutal there. I got to pull that SPY chart back up, though, on the 1 minute, because, wow, PayPal's going a bit flat now, but, yeah, brutal drop on earnings. Down 18%, yeah. Very rough. Let's see if there's anything on, like, the news that I'm missing here today. I'm not really seeing anything to cause these types of pullbacks here. Walmart's market value surpassed $1 trillion for the first time today. Wow, SPY just had a good bounce back. Which one, which stock, J-Duck? Sorry, I went through a bunch there. Hustle's World said Pep's doing well. Yeah, Pepsi doing really good today with Coke. Both are on fire. Oh, he said all of them. I got you. Really? They started blocking people, Coconut? I know, I'll never leave any money or anything in PayPal because I've heard of people getting money stuck in there for a long time and not being able to take it out and weird stuff. I guess that can happen anywhere, but... There's a few exceptions. Gym coach is picking teams. You, and you. You and you and you. Yeah, I know. So many U's in that one. It's kind of strange, isn't it? All those miners and rare earth companies I bought the last few days are now uptrending. You caught the bottom. Did you get USAR at all? What are some of the rare earth ones that you bought? Oh, USAR. Yeah, that one's starting to look really good. PPTA. Okay. That was a pretty big drop off there. CDE. PAAS. Now PAAS is one I've heard about quite a bit, but 49 votes in that poll. Get it going. Get those likes in too. Like I said, Greta.
How dare you?
Is gonna get you. Go see USAR. Wow, what a beautiful move here. Breaking out to new highs of the day, too. 15.9% with USAR. That's what we like to see. Called the SanDisk sell-off, Aoli said. Nice. Nice. Hope you benefited off it as well. Got USAR, Vail, pays, dividend, USAS. Okay. Nice, James. Vail. Vail's doing pretty good today. Wes hasn't had his coffee yet for Greta. Too early for Greta. I gotcha. I'll wait till after like 10:30 from now on. Yeah, banks are still recovering today, though. I saw that message come through a little while ago from Good Guy. He said the Trump account helped a little bit. Is that why they're moving so well? I mean, it's a good recovery to see. Bank of America, JP Morgan, starting to come up off the dips very, very well. Silver coming up a bit. Gold too. Okay. Man, I'm starving today, guys. I'm already thinking about breakfast. All metals are up. Your 10 UUUs are just killing it. What are your thoughts on Microsoft testing 400 soon? You would like to add some shares potentially soon. So Microsoft testing 400. Wow, I think it could get there. I think it could get there given where we're at now. And, you know, to fill the gap down, Microsoft's going to have to fall to like 396. So I could see 400 coming up pretty easily, especially given just how massive the sell-off is becoming. I will say, though, the sell-off is starting to get a bit enticing. Starting to entice me a bit. For a longer term dip buy myself. Yeah, I love those, Almighty. I need to start making those. I used to make homemade ones. I need to do that again. Yeah. My son that's being born, I think, is going to get a Trump account, the good guy. I don't know if my daughter gets one. She's going to be turning, well, she just turned 2, so. That's a funny gif, isn't it? Yeah, I am having a boy, Mason. Yep. We did a blood test, but yesterday we actually have the official knowing now that it's a boy. The blood test is supposed to only be like 99% accurate or something, but I know, right? I hope so, Mason. I hope he can play golf, or he'll like golf. That'll be one of my big ones for sure. I hope that the girl likes golf too. That would be perfect. It'd be funny if she beats him. She'll be 2 years older at least, or like almost 3 years older, so that would be pretty funny. It'll probably get competitive. I've been wanting to name him after my grandpa, Mason, but my grandpa's name was Eugene. And I just don't know in the modern day how the name Eugene, how much he'll like that. Elon, oh my gosh. Tommy Tenders the second. He'll actually be Tommy Tenders the third if I did that. Tangy Man, he would be the third. I know, I've heard it's a lot different than the girls, J-Duck. I'm already worried about that. Don't worry. That's funny. I like your wording there. Yeah, I'm going to name him XAI34VU. His first name's going to be Surge. His last name's going to be Bot. Put up a poll and let's vote on names. Surge, Bot, more. That's actually not bad. Oh, that's funny. Jaeger, oh my god. They would think we're from the Ukraine. Heinz. What about Warren Buffett? I feel like that's a bad name to steal. Mr. Eugene Krabs. That's so funny that they called him that on there. Tesla's really bouncing at Elon's favorite number here, holding 420. Very steady for now. Oh my gosh, Demir. I have that episode downloaded to my computer because it's like, they won't show it on any of the streaming platforms. Palantir holding its ground well. See if it can hold this support or not. It's trying to hold today, but it's at a very critical range at the low point of yesterday after it had earnings. It came down and consolidated here, and again, we're seeing that consolidation come in. Gonna hedge with some puts, Demir. You missed out on shorting Palantir. Oh, there goes Tesla holding 420, coming back a bit. We knew that was a big range there. SPY starting to try to hold too, and Nvidia is getting towards 180, which is a huge range for Nvidia. I should have it on Bookmap, right? It's not open yet. I know that this one's going to be a pretty significant spot. Oh yeah, 180 is a pretty big buy wall. Probably the biggest of the day, 256,000 shares. Meta's getting at 700 too, starting to bounce a little bit. Could be some support buying opportunities off of 700 here on Meta. Of course, if it breaks down, and same thing with Nvidia, you can cut fairly quickly as support breaks, but could be an opportunity. It's hard to call the bottom and snipe it, but at least you're on support. Looks like Nvidia might break it down right now, so keep it on the radar. Pretty much hitting it on the book map. Let's zoom in a lot. Sometimes it's fun to do that. More. Ooh, there we go. Just wiped out 180. Note all these very quick market orders here. You can see these numbers shifting very, very, very fast. A lot of orders like right around the current price. Wow, that was a quick drop. Man, liquidity really disappeared at 180 and, well, it kind of got wiped out, but then now it's continuing down in a pretty crazy fashion here. Appreciate it, Almighty J. Sandus sounds like it found a bottom. Be careful, Nvidia just broke through. Might see some market-wide selling here. SPY's down under 691.30, which has been a pretty significant level as of late. We're back down into the chop zone of last week. Thursday and Friday, the end of the week, we saw a lot of chop with the SPY. Right back down. Wow. Right into the zone. The lower end of this zone extends down to like 687.50, 687. That would be a weird move down there today. That was a pretty good move down, though. Might get a couple greens, but I like it down. What's up, Steve?
Steve Madden. Steve Madden.
Steve, what's up? I hope you've seen the Wolf of Wall Street, Steve, or you're going to have no idea what I'm talking about there. Shouldn't have bought calls today. You especially shouldn't have held them. We'll see, though, if there's a good reversal opportunity here soon. Seems like SPY, as it broke through support there, it really, even though it broke through 691, it ultimately ended up holding and kind of bouncing there. Jake sold covered calls today. There we go. Locked in the gains. That's solid to hear. If you haven't watched it, you should do your homework and go watch it before tomorrow's open. Yeah, for sure. He's seen it, though. Yeah, Walmart did hit $1 trillion. I announced that a bit earlier, Steve. That was pretty cool. Yeah, it was a big headline when it came out, I saw. Everybody was posting that. Speaker Johnson said the House will approve moving forward with legislation on Tuesday to bring an end to the short government shutdown. Just saw that hit. The House will approve moving forward with legislation on Tuesday to bring an end to the short government shutdown. Sounds like the shutdown's going to end here sometime today. We have some Kalshi odds here. Saying 4.1 days. It's weird how much volume comes into these things. Coconut. And then you took the bag. Oh gosh. I'm getting partial fills and single fills on some occasional lowball offers. Take it for what it is. Google will be interesting after earnings, but I think could give a boost to AI if good news from Gemini. I think that they'll have good Gemini news too, if I'm being honest with you. I think Google will have pretty good Gemini news. I don't know about the rest of their earnings, but I could see them doing pretty well. Gemini seems like it's been really stepping up there. Let's go back to SLV real quick. Having some trouble breaking out here above 80, but it looks like silver's been pretty solid today. So I'm leaning more to the upside than the downside, given the recent positivity. But this is a tough level here. Gold is almost at 5,000 again, too. How's GLD? Yeah, it's kind of stuck here. Not overly surprising. Sorry about that, guys. Downing some water really quick. Demir said he's out. See ya, Demir. OSS is finally selling off. One Stop Systems down 4.08%. Yeah, it was getting up there pretty hot, too. Makes sense to see it selling off. bit overextended for sure. Tesla's starting to come up still well off 420. Elon must be injecting cash there, because my gosh. I'm kidding, guys. But does seem like the market's injecting cash. Injecting with buyers anyways. Meta's down 1.6%, still moving lower, 695. Wow, fell under 700 here. Pretty rough to see that. Nvidia still chopping around that 180 possible support zone. SPY seems like it's trying to form a base here, but it's just chopping around and still has that overall downwards trend still going on here. Pretty brutal. Let's go back to USAR. Looks like it's pulling back a little bit, but not too bad. Sitting around the high of the day still at 26. CRML. Energy Fuels still took off. XLB, State Street Materials, select sector up 3%. Hey! Now that one's looking really fire here. Yeah, no kidding. Now that is a great recovery here out of XLB. Love it, J-Duck. It's probably the best, breakout recovery that I've seen coming off of this in a little while. SPY below 690, almighty ass. Yeah, I could probably see it getting below 690 today, given how it's moving. That might be where we start to see it kind of bounce, though, but we have to really get under that low of day from today still. But that's where I would really look for more of a bounce, is right around that 690 zone. It's a pretty big zone of support. See this little uptrend with the SPY. It's not very good, but yeah, kind of nothing. Yeah, how'd you guys like that news yesterday? The good guy brought this up. I think XAI is getting chosen by SpaceX for merger over Tesla is hurting Tesla in the short term. It could. It definitely could hurt Tesla a little bit in the short term. Tesla's holding up pretty well right now on support. It had been pulling back anyways, but I see what you're saying. That could maybe be a bit of a dampening there. But the thing is that nobody, while they could have merged with Tesla, everyone's really hyping up about that SpaceX IPO. If they merge with Tesla, it would just, there'd be no real reason to IPO SpaceX. So I guess it makes kind of sense what they're doing. Credit to Java 6 Alpha in the Discord on XLB. Oh, cool. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, it was a nice one, though. Back to Palantir we go. The fun earnings play from yesterday. Starting to come up off the dip a bit more here. Holding its lows, starting to recover in a pretty good way. That's pretty solid to see. Tesla's still moving up off 420. Like we said earlier, possible dip buy opportunity here on Tesla. And some of these stocks that have dipped have become decent opportunities intraday, but SPY is still attempting to hold its support. Starting to really bounce, though, off this 691 range, which is pretty solid to see here. Holding it for now, but as we can see, the downwards trend is still intact. Overall, this little downwards run is still nasty. I'd like to really see this trend break to the upside, as well as SPY solidify a move past 692.50 again, but that'll break this small trend of lower highs right here. Each one of these is posting a little lower high on the next. We see that little trend break, it would be a pretty decent sign for an intraday shift. Doesn't mean it's going to shift all the way back, but at least for a quicker scalp. Tesla is rebounding nicely. They shut down. The shutdown meeting starts at 11:15 Eastern time. So in about 30 minutes, 33 minutes or so. With Tesla having a nice high beta, if the market runs, it could really pop up after the vote. I like the way Tesla's running now. 427. My gosh, it's starting to get up there in a pretty solid way, breaking through the highs of yesterday and this morning in pre-market too, breaking past pretty critical resistance. But there's going to be a big gap fill coming up right at 429 and 430. This is going to be a very big zone for Tesla next once we get past here. So 429, 430, right where the gap fill is, will be the next tougher zone. Doesn't mean that it has to reject where the gap fill will come in, but it is something that I have seen happen before. As we all know who have, watched these charts intraday for a while. Google very choppy down here. My gosh, look at this 1 minute chop fest. Kind of like the SPY. How's Bitcoin today? Down 1.4%. Nothing too bad, but if we look at Bitcoin recently, it had recently tested 100K, rejected, and then broke through this recent trend line as well. This has been a critical point for Bitcoin as it's rejected through the trend and has really solidified this downwards move. This was a nasty sell-off here. Coinbase still falling, down 3.34%, fell under 200 recently and is continuing to die. What a downwards drop. MSTR, same deal. They actually have earnings coming up this Thursday. Watch out for the earnings. Speaking of the earnings, where is my earnings calendar? Here it is. Here's what we're looking at tonight. AMD, SMCI, Chipotle. Interesting. Enphase, Lumentum. Amgen. Lumen is just under there, though. Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning, Uber, Eli Lilly, Novo, or NVO, which will be a big one. Alphabet, ARM, Qualcomm, and after hours. Thursday, Amazon, IREN, Strategy, Roblox, Reddit, Bloom Energy, Affirm, Barrick Gold as well. Did they not switch that? They didn't switch that. You got to be kidding me. Earnings Whispers has it wrong, guys. They have Barrick Gold as ticker symbol GOLD, not B anymore. Go at him on Twitter. I knew it had switched recently, but I thought they had it wrong. I didn't know StockedUp did lives. Is it only on Tuesdays? No, it's every day here for this live stream. We also do live Q&As every Wednesday night in the Discord for trading floor members specifically, but this one's every day. Unless something really bad happens, like bad technical difficulties or there's something very important going on. Appreciate that, Tangy Man. Yeah, they did change it to B, Aoli. They, I was just saying, though, they had it wrong on here. It was kind of weird. Go tell Earnings Whispers to fix their chart. LUV's heading to 51. Yeah, the live Q&A is pretty underrated. Like Sean said, he's learned a lot there, and I'll be honest, guys, I've even learned a lot, and it's really good to get like little refreshers on it now and again as well. It's the live Q&A is something more personal with Mike. It's like a one-on-one essentially with Mike, so you can be there and ask Mike anything you want while he's live right there, and he goes over some pretty awesome and sometimes advanced, but again, in options and trading, you don't want to just be super simple, but a lot of interesting strategies. And of course, you can ask about it all right there. If you're interested, check out the link to the trading floor. If you try it out for a month or something, you can join up on 4 Q&As throughout the month or whatever it ends up being. We also record them and have all of the past ones saved as well. And you can find those in Discord upon signing up too. But yeah, Q&A. Manicured says it's the shit. I almost said it how you typed it, but that messed me up, Willard. Appreciate the positivity though. Meta's below 700. Yeah, it broke under 700 a little while ago. We actually saw that it had moved under there, and it's been a little choppy since then, but good breakdown. Yeah, and if you have questions, you can always submit them and then re-watch the Q&A later, and it'll be answered within there, so it's always a nice idea. If you think you can't make it or something like that, and if you're in the trading floor right now and you're not checking out the Q&As, or you're not joining up, definitely set your calendars up. Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's in the Discord. We'll post up links and everything. It's always a nice learning experience. I think you can a little bit. I'm not sure. Manicured. I've heard a lot of people say it the way you typed it, though. I thought it was funny. It came out of my mouth weird, honestly. Tesla 428. Getting up towards that 429, 430, very large resistance. Remember, that's going to fill the gap at 429 from the other day. Big gap down from Friday into Monday, so that'll be a big one there. Hey, appreciate it, Galt. Let's go. Whoa, Galt. The crowd really liked that. Ghost said it could be a good time to ride SNDK back up. Oh, yeah, it's already gotten up quite a bit off of that 649.50, 650 support zone. Man, now it's right at resistance again, though. Doesn't look terrible for a possible resistance break, though. I'm with you. I'm with you there. SPY just started breaking through its little trend. We saw it on the downtrend as soon as it broke through. Some decent Momo started to come through now. Like I said, there could be a good scalping opportunity off of that support once we started to see that trend start to break up. Of course, I got distracted. I didn't see it move out, but Tesla with the recovery. Yeah, really good recovery so far. It's probably going to start rejecting. Yeah, just like what we see here, yeah. I could see it starting to reject a little bit as it's starting to touch up on resistance here. It's getting very close to resistance. QQQ's bouncing off support. Your leaps are going. This intraday support does seem nice. SNDK is having a little trouble at resistance, but still could push through with some time here. SNDK. 677. I like the 680. It'd be nice to get through 680 to all the way to 690 though. 700 would be perfect target today if it could get back there. That would be beautiful. I'm sure the bulls will be loving and rejoicing that. No more crazy news that I've seen so far ever since Johnson said that the House will approve moving forward with legislation to bring an end to the shutdown. We'll have to see if that legislation passes or not, though. That could really shift things up. Yeah, no real news here. Nothing hitting yet. That's probably why SPY's not doing much, but look at it trying to hold that trend now. That's pretty funny. Holding that trend line on that pullback. Pretty good hold there. Still watching for an uptrend now off of this base. We clearly got out of that slight downtrend, but can real buying pressure get the market and the SPY back up? That's the million-dollar question here. Seems like right now, though, there is at least a little bit coming back, as some buying has been coming into the Mag 7s at least. Looking at Mag 7, Apple's coming up off the dip in a great way. Nvidia's still holding 180. Meta's back through 700. Amazon's forming a clear base. Microsoft's bouncing, and Google's also bouncing. So we're seeing some pretty good recoveries here market-wide. It's really helping to support this SPY slight uptrend here starting to come into play. Apple looks really nice here as it's starting to run. Again, though, these are zoomed in 1 minute charts, so sometimes the smaller moves can seem a lot larger than they are, but at least on the Mag 7, of course, it has market impact. Shutdowns are theater. Markets don't care. It really seems like they don't. The last shutdown, the market made new all-time highs. Hey, Sean just made a quick 40%er on SPY, 0 DTEs in 3 minutes. Nice, Sean. Nice, nice, nice. Little dip buy action there. I like it. It's a pretty good quick scalp. Dubs in the chat for Sean. Taking advantage of that SPY opportunity there. You know what they say about trading SPY on scalping opportunities like this?
60% of the time, it works every time.
That's like my favorite sound button, I think, seriously. In and out so fast, nobody even got at my face. I like that. Why is IBM down? How much are they down? This looks pretty rough. Down 8%. No real earnings or anything. Let's see. Any news? I'm not really seeing much here. Gosh, I'm not seeing anything right now. They recently exploded with earnings. Now they just gave it all back and then some. I'm not seeing any initial news, but I mean, you would think that with a candle this large, I mean, this is like the largest candle it's had in over a year, it seems. And I'm not seeing anything, at least on the Thinkorswim headline. There could be news elsewhere, maybe, though. It says, Bernstein and Stifel lift IBM price targets after their Q4 results. It says that they raised their international business machine targets, but flags full valuation after Q4 beat. They raised the price target to $330 from $280 while maintaining a market perform rating. The firm has flagged their full valuation despite its Q4 beat due to tougher comps ahead of the AI-driven sector risk. It says Bernstein noted that IBM's valuation appears full, particularly due to IBM's heavy exposure to software and consulting, both of which are vulnerable to AI-driven devaluation. Nevertheless, IBM stock has remained resilient. Let's go see that hourly chart. It's a pretty big pullback there. Wow, down to 280. International business machines. Pretty big pullback though. Or 290 I meant, sorry. Right through 300 today. And like I said, under that earnings move, which is pretty rough. Pretty rough. Looks like Bernstein definitely hit him. Could just be filling the gap. It could be, yeah. I'd be careful though. You know, it seemed like the stuff that they noted about the valuation of IBM was a bit concerning, especially since they noted a lot about them being vulnerable to AI devaluation, especially regarding, you know, being dealing with programs and things like that. That's kind of the sector that's been seeing a lot of negativity with that. Hence Oracle, Adobe, Figma, all of them kind of dying. SanDisk is at it again. Ripping still? Oh yeah, got through resistance there. Beautiful. Beautiful SanDisk. That's what we like. Tesla is not though. Tesla, as it filled that gap, it started rejecting back, unfortunately. But hey, you know, that wasn't overly unexpected. We talked about that 10 times on the way up. I know, I haven't heard IBM mentioned in forever, Coconut. Like, every once in a while I see a headline regarding them or something recently, but very, very far and few between. And anything that I've ever seen in tech or computers, I mean, again, like, they're never mentioned anymore. I'm with it, and you even work in it, like, in the corporate world, so that's pretty interesting. But alrighty, guys, we're going to go ahead and call the stream there today. SPY's getting a little bit slow and choppy down here in the bottom of the range after selling off this morning. Decent downside action, especially coming off of yesterday's rip. It's kind of given back like half of the gains or so. We'll see how it closes today. I like the way it's holding up at 692.50 for now. Not too shabby. Watch that low of the day, of course, as big support. Looks like that's holding up as of now. Other than that, though, I hope everybody's a great rest of the day. Appreciate that, manicured. Still a bit sick out there. Ooh, Nvidia starting to pull back hard, guys. Uh-oh. Was that a dead cat bounce that we witnessed? And we're going to see lower action. Amazon's pulling back now, too. Their base gave out. Uh-oh, watch out. Be careful here. There could be a bit more of a pullback if Nvidia starts to really shift down again. But I'm going to end you with that. See you guys. Have a great one. Don't forget to check out the link to the trading floor if you're new. Join in on that Q&A tomorrow night. Oh, yeah. AMD earnings tonight. 69 votes. Everybody voted for positive. Thanks for voting in the poll, if not. Like to see that, though. Positive reaction. Gonna be a big report tonight. Be ready. I lied a minute ago when I said it was the end. Forgot about AMD there. But now we're out of here. Have a great rest of your Taco Tuesday.